Hi, thanks for joining me on this next study. I am going to be looking at Matthew chapter 12, verses 38 through 45. And there are a number of things to look at in this passage. So I'll try to touch on a few of them, but you should definitely read the explanations. The first is that Jesus is asked for a sign, and he says that this generation is not going to get a sign, that the only sign that's going to that they'll see is the sign of Jonah, which Jesus is effectively referring to when he will spend 3 days in the grave, similarly to the way Jonah spent 3 days in the belly of the fish, whatever it was. So when I read about this, apparently that was a little bit controversial, that some people argued, I don't know, the historicity of that story of Jonah, and there was a big debate about what type of fish could physically have swallowed Jonah, whether God created a whole new fish or prepared certain fish that wouldn't naturally have been able to swallow a human. So there is kind of a whole description of the different options in there, which I found very interesting. And then, so he then mentions also that because Israel is so blind to Jesus' messiahship, he compares them to the Ninevites, who instead embraced Jonah's message so quickly and repented of their sin, and whereas the Israelites, of course, did not. Jesus also brings up the Queen of Sheba, because she did something similar. She went to Solomon in kind of a haughty, arrogant way, and then once she saw him and heard his wisdom, she glorified God and gave Solomon a whole bunch of gifts. And so her conversion is other evidence of Gentiles that sort of outperform the Israelites in terms of their repentance and faith. And then the last thing Jesus talks about is that it's sort of like an unclean spirit leaving someone, and then the person leaves their heart sort of empty, doesn't necessarily fill it with good things, just kind of puts stuff in order after the evil spirit is gone. And so once the evil spirit sees that it's still open and empty, they actually come back with multiple spirits, and the person is worse off than they ever were before. So that was I didn't necessarily get that right away from reading the passage. I had to read some of the commentary in various materials to be able to understand a little bit more about that. So take a look at some of the quotes I put in there and some of the information, because I think it was really insightful. So I hope you like it, and I'll see you next time.